Hi, everyone. If you are just joining, we will officially get started in a few minutes, right past the hour or right at the hour. So hang around. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. I'm Sarah May, and thank you so much for joining this morning for what will now be a weekly time, the same time weekly. For me, it's Monday morning, so it's 9 o'clock in the morning in beautiful Baja Sur, Mexico, down here where I am. I'm seeing a lot of people saying hello. I would love to see where you are tuning in from if you want to type that in the comments or in the chats. But yes, this will be a new weekly session. So if this time works for you, I hope to see you back here weekly. And we can start our week, or at least for me, it's starting the week. We can start our week with a meditation. Um, so thank you for being here, and hopefully we can all support each other in our practice. So hi everyone. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people saying hi, and again, just yeah, from Scotland, from Colorado, from Chicago, oh, from Boston. That's where I'm originally from. Welcome. From Arkansas, Vietnam, so all over the world. Egypt, 5 p.m. here, right? So we're a little into your week, but that's okay. Colombia, welcome. Nebraska, wonderful, wonderful to see so many people joining in from all over. Switzerland, Connecticut, Central Africa, the UK. That's great. India. And so wonderful that we're all supporting each other in this practice of mindfulness and joining each other in meditation this morning or this evening or whatever time it is where you are. So, what I thought we will be doing, or what we will be doing, is a meditation. And then following the meditation, I'll hang around. And so we'll have time if anyone has questions or would like to leave a comment, we can, discuss somewhat, although this format is just me talking. But we can have a little bit of a discussion with using the chat and using the comments. So yeah. So because it is Monday, at least where I am, and we're beginning the week, and also because it's our first meditation together, I thought it would be appropriate to do a little focusing on grounding, on getting rooted, getting centered, and just connecting to the sensation of support we get from the earth. So that's where we'll begin. So let's settle into our meditation posture. If anyone needs to take a little last minute stretch of arms up overhead or wiggle around a little bit, get all the wiggles out. If we need to open the chest a little bit, squeeze the shoulders down and back, then do that, please. But otherwise, find your posture. Maybe take a deep, full breath in through the nose and a deep, full sigh out. And just somehow using the body to tell the body that we are now meditating. And I do recommend when you settle into your breath, breathing in and out through the nose. It's just another way to cue the central nervous system to settle down. And as we get settled and get rooted here, we'll just start by first observing, taking note of where we are. Perhaps aware of the space around us, and the sounds that are present. What does the temperature feel like? Noting any smells. And today, feeling into this sensation of being supported and held here in this space. And so, whatever that means to you, we could have some particular presence that we like to invite into this space as we meditate. Maybe we just feel held by space itself. We're aware of that sense of support, the support that's provided by the body itself. We have the structure of our skin and our flesh, quite literally holding us together. Sensing in to the structure of our bones, our skeletal system that lends us support. In particular, aware of the spine. So we're settling here into a posture that is comfortable, but still allows us to be upright, with a spine that is relatively neutral, naturally shaped. We invite in the natural curvature of the spine. Aware that the crown of the head is balanced directly over the center of the pelvis. And perhaps with every breath out, we can soften into that pelvis a little bit more, noting the weight of the body on our seat and feeling stable and equally balanced between the right and left hip or the right and left sits bone. Letting the shoulders soften, allowing the belly to soften. Mindful of the weight of the body against the structure of support underneath us, whether that is your cushion, your chair, or the earth itself. Noting that there's a quality of balance there. So the more weight we allow to drop down and the more we feel into that connection between the body and the earth, the more we can also feel into this opposing upward lifting energy, perhaps traveling along the inhale breath. So with every breath in, we feel a slight lift up through the heart or through the crown of the head. And finding balance here between this grounding exhale breath and this uplifting or lengthening with each breath in. And noting what else is touching down. If you're seated on a cushion, perhaps it's the shins or the tops of the feet. If you're sitting in a chair or even standing, maybe sensing into the soles of the feet. Seeing if you can place your attention in that space where your body makes contact with the support underneath you. Feeling perhaps a sense of feedback. The more we connect in to that sense of a little heaviness of just the body rooting down. Again, the more we can sense the feedback or the energy that is rising up from the ground to meet us. Connecting to this sense of being rooted here, feeling grounded, aware that there is a balance here between these downward and upward moving energies. Not unlike the balance between breath in and breath out. And then, so we're going to slightly, subtly shift our attention from this feeling of being rooted to the quality of being centered. And of course, there's no right or wrong. You just check in with what being centered might mean to you. A balance in the body. So perhaps, take note of the space in front of you and the space behind you. And is the body leaning into one or the other? Maybe drop the chin a little bit. Do we have alignment between the back of the head and the back of the heart? Checking in with the space to the right, to the left. And are we leaning into one or the other? Do the shoulders feel level? Does the placement of the hands seem even? And if we sense back into the pelvis, do we feel physically centered on our seat? Again, sensing that the top of the head is balanced directly over the center of the pelvis. We're feeling rooted here, centered here, using mindfulness of the physical body to sense into those qualities. Observing those qualities through the body itself. Grounded, centered, balanced, stable or supported in the body itself. And then we'll subtly shift gears again, moving from awareness of those qualities in the body to awareness of those qualities in the mind that is doing the observing. What does it feel like when the mind itself is stable, grounded, and centered? Centered perhaps in that we're not moving towards attachment on the one hand, nor towards aversion on the other hand, but we remain centered, free from the push or the pull of either. Centered in that there is absolutely nothing present with us here in this moment that needs to go away. And centered in that we do not need anything with us here in this present moment that is not already here. It is what it is, and that is okay. perhaps centered in a sense of just being present, mindful of this one moment. A mind free from moving backwards, a mind free from jumping ahead, moving forwards, allowing the mind to simply be here now, observing all the glory of this one moment, this one breath. Maybe it helps to simultaneously sense into this quality of stability through the body, through the mind, both. Sensing into this stability as though it is home, a place that is always available, always present. This quality of feeling deeply connected to just this one moment is a quality that you can return to again and again and again. Whenever it's needed, this moment of practice, this moment of familiarizing ourselves with this quality of stability, making it easier and easier for us to return to this quality anytime we need to. This good feeling of being rooted, being grounded, feeling centered and balanced, stable and supported. Whatever word speaks to you most clearly, maybe there's another word that describes to you this sense of full presence. Let's connect for a moment to whatever way in which we feel that sensation most strongly. So that we might better carry that sensation with us as we open our eyes, let go of the meditation, and come back to the world around us. What do you need in this moment as you cross this threshold from meditation space to the world around you space? Maybe it's just a deep, full breath in again and full sigh out. But please do make a little effort or a little commitment to carry whatever benefit you've received through that meditation, carry those benefits into your day, into your evening, into your interactions with others. Perhaps dedicate those benefits to someone you know who needs this meditation more than you do, right? And so I do want to go through some of the questions and the comments, and we'll hang out here for a little bit. Lisa says, thank you. When are we going to do this again? I'll personally be doing this same time, same place every week. But we do also have live meditations on Tuesdays and on Thursdays, if I'm correct. You can find out more by going to mindfulexercises.com or by going to the Mindful Exercises YouTube page for more live meditations. Divya says, what is the ideal time in a day to meditate? Well, I think the ideal time to meditate is the one that works best for you, first and foremost. Oh, I think I lost you. There is, for me personally, a quality of quiet and calm during the morning hours that, to me, lends itself to meditation. Right? I enjoy meditating in the morning before I get involved with checking email and all the things that happen during the day that might uh, make me more prone to distraction. But my advice to you is to experiment with meditating at different times of day and see which one feels best in your body, which one helps you feel most stable in your mind. And whatever meditation time works for you, right here, right now, today, or this month, or in this year of your life, things could change. So keep an open mind. things can change. Lots of people just chiming in to say thank you. But I am hanging out here if you have any questions about the meditation that we just did, or any questions about meditation in general. The meditation we just completed was about sensing into these qualities of being rooted, of being grounded, of being centered. And we approached this at first by using the body itself, an awareness of the body itself. Like, where is the body in space? And then coming in a little bit tighter. How do we sense those qualities of rooting and grounding in the body? Lisa says, "What is your name again?" I'm Sarah May. Thank you for joining. And I'll be here every Monday. So yeah, we sensed in to those qualities in the body, and then we used that experience of sensing into grounding in the body to perhaps sense those same qualities in the mind itself. Of course, there's always this connection between body and mind. And for some of us, we might feel like the meditation happens up here, and it might be easier to kind of access sensation through the thinking mind. There's no particular right or wrong. But some of us might feel like the meditation happens here, happens in the heart or happens in the body, and the awareness comes through the body itself. And I think for some people, it's easier to access mindfulness through the body itself. And we can again experiment with both ways, and with doing this simultaneously. Julie says, would you say it's similar to anchoring into the earth's core when you ground from the waist down? Julie, I'd love to hear you say a little bit more about that. But similar. I mean, yeah, I'm not quite sure if I know exactly what technique you're talking about, but yeah, I mean, grounding into the earth's core for sure. Like, just that as a visualization, that as like an energy, you know, I love that sense, like that if that helps you to ground, then yes, by all means, like use that visualization, use that energy. Um, if it helps you to sense that that grounding is happening from the waist down, there's no right or wrong way to do this and to connect with that energy of feeling rooted. Um, you know, It's not I mean, for me personally, I enjoy, like, this feeling of grounding that just is a overall, like, full body sensation, not necessarily just waist down, but perhaps beginning at the crown of the head, and a grounding and a relaxing as we drop the shoulders, and then sensing, all the way down into the feet. And at the beginning of this meditation, we worked a little bit with that sensation As much as we work with this grounding down, we don't want to fall into a sensation of like dullness or drowsiness or um, just feeling down, right? And so there's always this balance. And as we sense more into being rooted, there's always this balance of feeling how that helps us sense in to this energy that's also upward rising. That's the earth, um, you know, coming up to meet us and this upward lifting energy. So even in this meditations where we're doing grounding and rooting, there's always this balance with this inhale and this upward lifting energy. Um, Corey says you spoke about attachment and aversion. How do you differentiate between them? Yeah, so we talked about centering with the body, and then we talked about finding that same quality in the mind. And attachment, or attachment, grasping, desire on the one hand, and then we have this aversion and this pushing away, and this fighting against what's present on the other hand. But you don't necessarily need to differentiate between them. They're two sides of the same coin, so to speak, right? So in my experience, if when I feel like my mind is centered, I am free from needing anything that is already present here to stay. That would be the attachment, right? Whatever's present here, it's here and I recognize it and I allow it, and that's fantastic. But I don't need it to stay in order for me to be okay. And then we have the aversion on the other hand. There's nothing that is present here that I need to go away in order for me to be okay. So I hope that that makes sense, Corey. Like when I am experiencing a mind that I would describe as centered, I'm describing this experience in which I'm just present with everything that is here as it is, and there's nothing here that I need to be unchanging, and there's nothing here that I need to change. So that would be kind of this experience of centered in the mind, and we can experience that again also through the body itself, as we're working with sensation in the body. It is what it is. Mindfulness is about observing and taking note of our present moment experience. And we often say, free from judgment, right? Free from judgment. But really, what does that mean? We want to be free from needing things to be different, because if we are relying on our outer experience to be one way before we can feel stable and centered and grounded, well, good luck with that. Because everything is always changing, and sometimes our experience is fantastic and sometimes it's not. And we can be okay either way, and that's one of the things that we can learn through meditation. So complete with them both, no matter the reason for the presence of any item or thought. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that what you're saying there is, yeah, like we can be full and whole and complete and totally okay, regardless of external experience, regardless of thoughts or emotions, internal experience. We can even direct that same sense of centeredness to our thoughts and emotions, right? Like it's okay if I'm sad right now because that's gonna change, and if it doesn't change right now, that's okay too. Like I can learn to be present with sadness, for as long as I need to be present with sadness. I can be, you know, okay with happiness, right? It feels good, but I don't need to have that like sensation, that thought or that emotion of happiness in order to be okay. Like the more I connect to this, we described that feeling of kind of like home and this quality of presence deep within. The more I connect with that deep within, no matter the thought, no matter the emotion, I just can observe all of this as just movements of energy. But what I'm actually connecting to is, what we're talking about today, this feeling of just being rooted, being grounded, being stable here. Thanks, Corey. Uh, because we get that feeling of stability from deep within. It doesn't need to come from anywhere else, and it doesn't even need to come from one particular thought or emotion. Thanks, Julie. Thanks for being here today. Yeah, again, my name is Sarah May. I will be here at the same time every Monday. And I am so grateful that all of you have joined us in this space for this live meditation. We're discussing today, these qualities of feeling stable, feeling rooted, feeling grounded, feeling centered. And I'd love to hear perhaps in the comments if you have a word that speaks to you about that kind of quality of just being present here and now, or being at home. Um, Whatever word you like to use that kind of gets after what we're discussing. But yeah, if you'd like to type in the comments or the chat those questions or any other questions about mindfulness meditation in general, please feel free. And if you joined us after the meditation, of course, you can go back and I believe go back and find the recording either on Facebook, or maybe LinkedIn, or definitely on our YouTube, mindfulness exercises on YouTube. Um, and yeah, as we kind of wrap it up, like it does bear repeating that, of course, your own personal practice in which you turn your attention inwards without a guide is so valuable and so helpful. Um, but it's also really valuable and really helpful to support each other in these spaces. It can be a good motivation to come to your meditation practice if you are scheduling a time to meet with a group online. And it can help expand your meditation practice to try out different guided practices. But finding balance between that and your own inner work is definitely always great. Helen asks, yeah, is it okay if I join? Of course, all are welcome here in this space. I will be here every Monday. We started approximately an hour ago with the meditation, but there are other live meditations, and you can find those scheduled on the YouTube site at Mindfulness Exercises. And next time I will come prepared to have that schedule, um, so that I can share it with you, the exact schedule. But mindfulnessexercises.com is where you can find live meditations and hundreds of pre-recorded guided meditations. So, yeah, as I was saying, wonderful to have that balance between following guided meditations, meditating in support with a community, with the support of a community, and then, of course, just doing the practice on your own, right? What happens when we sit down without the guide, without the video, without the iPhone, and do our own practice? Um, and so, the meditation we did today, if you would like to practice that at home, um, let me just give you like a really quick, simple overview that you can follow. If we'd like to practice this meditation at home, start by taking note of the space around you and where you are, and just sensing into, okay, right here, right now, I'm meditating. Then we took that awareness and we tightened it a little bit, and we sensed into the sensation of being rooted and being centered through the body itself. So if you're doing this at home, just spending some time on what does it feel like to feel grounded through my body, connected to the earth, stable and centered right here, right now. And then we move just subtly from sensing into the qualities of grounding through the body itself into looking at the mind that experiences or observes those qualities. So, having had that felt sensation in the body, what does it feel like to be grounded? We went, okay, what does it feel like when the mind is grounded and rooted and feeling stable? And so, if you're doing that meditation at home, we sense into grounding through the body. We can get curious then about what it feels like when the mind is centered and grounded. And then we want to spend some time just resting in that sensation, whether we feel that sensation through the mind, through the body, through both. Just spend some time connecting there to that feeling, so that hopefully that's a feeling that we can come back to again and again and again throughout the day, and that becomes familiar to us, like that sense of like, I'm here, I'm present, I'm centered, I'm stable, and then no matter what happens throughout my day, I'm a little more free from being like pushed and pulled from these energies, whether they are labeled as positive or negative or good or bad. Like, I can, somewhat connect more to myself as this observer, stable, rooted, grounded observer, versus, reacting, falling into habits, and like we described during the meditation, versus, becoming attached to anything in particular, or fighting against anything that's present that we wish wasn't, right? Um, yeah, I think a lot of this sense of just feeling stable is about connecting to this mindfulness of seeing things for as how they are, and however it is, that's how it is. and it's this way in this one moment, and that is okay, and this one moment is going to change. And I think, at least from my personal experience, the less I fight against this moment and the more I can just flow with that moment. And flow is interesting because it's sort of this quality, like it has this quality of movement, but it's really about like just being present from one moment to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. If I can the better that I can remain grounded and rooted and stable, the better I'm able to flow. The better I'm able to flow with the situation as it is. And I've found that the more I can flow with things as they generally change for the better versus changing for the worst. That's something that we just have to discover for ourselves. But the more that we can connect to that feeling of stability through meditation, then the more hopefully we can connect to that feeling of stability throughout our day. And that's really what this meditation practice is all about, right? I mean, it sounds so cliche, but we don't practice mindfulness meditation to get better at mindfulness meditation, but to get better at navigating our lives in a way that offers us more ease, more happiness, more sense of freedom, right? So that's why we're here, and that's why we do what we do. So again, if you have questions about this or any other mindfulness meditation, you can feel free to post them in the box. I will be here online for just about another 3 minutes. Yeah, thank you all for joining me. This in one way is a little bit one-sided, because unlike a Zoom, I don't get to see your beautiful faces and chat with you back and forth. But you can add your questions, and you know, it is just so wonderful to just know that all of you are online and all of you are participating and that all of you are here and that you are becoming like you just being here becomes part of this network of support that we can all sense into. um, so I'd like to just thank everyone so much for being here today from all over the world. So just as a reminder, my name is Sarah May, and I'll be here again the same time, same place next week. I think you can go see this recording on YouTube. You can find more meditations for grounding, for getting rooted, for staying centered and stable, at mindfulnessexercises.com. And I hope that this meditation was of benefit to you. I really hope that you try it again on your own, practice it again on your own. Um, and if it was of benefit to you, may it by extension be of benefit to all beings everywhere. Because now that we have begun our week with meditation, hopefully we can move into the day, move into the evening, from a place of greater mindfulness and kindness and gentleness and understanding. So thank you all. Thank you so much for being here in this space. And I hope to, see you again next week.